Alright everybody, welcome back to the Outer Worlds Peril on Gorgon DLC. And we're back on Gorgon. And I want to talk to that vendor guy over there. Oh shoot. Because we have killed the accountant.
Is that what my thoughts sound like? Look, I've been standing near that alarm too long. Hey again, stranger. What can I get you?
About Charles from accounting.
Yeah?
He's dead.
You're kidding. Really? He's dead? As in... dead?
We can't do the perception check? Yes, he won't cause trouble anymore.
Wow. Well, that's good. It's not like I'll miss the guy, but you have to admit, he was, striking. Real original. Gorgon's gonna be a little less interesting without him. That's all.
Why couldn't we do that perception check? It's good. Huh. Oh well. Okay, so we have this one. And then there was this one as well, but we'll go ahead down here first.
Let's hope Jasper's pharmaceutical special blend hasn't affected his voice enough to keep it from opening the door.
Doc Lowe seems like the kind of guy who needs to get the last word in.
This facility is correct. Please.
Play Dr. Lowe's audio recording.
We attest to the zest with our hand on our chest. Be impressed as our guest by what we've finessed. You are blessed to ingest what we thoroughly test. You've tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's choice.
Passphrase accepted. Access granted. Welcome, Dr. Jasper Lowe.
All right.
How
Option
unfortunate.
unlock security office
All this
hall.
wanton death and destruction clashes with their well-appointed decor.
Let's see. Welcome, C. Hong. I guess it's probably Hong. Urgent notification. This urgent notification brought to you by the Spacer's Choice Automated Subversive Behavior Notification System. Please be informed that one or more of the following high priority conditions are likely to be active in your office or workplace. 1. Escaped primals. 2. Unlawful discussion of subversive cultural material. 3. Extended and unauthorized breaks. Please notify your supervisor immediately if you are the designated supervisor of this workplace. This message constitutes your official notification. This is an automated response. Please do not respond directly to this message. Messages from Hong C to J Law, or C Hong to J Law. Jasper, I've been taking your messages at my terminal like you asked. This one's from management though. Please take a look at this. I could get in trouble for deleting it. L. Goodfellow, from L. Goodfellow to J. Law, subject to corrective measures. Dr. Lowe, I think I keep saying law, but sorry. I speak for everyone at the OCI when I express my disappointment in your work ethic. The quality of Compound X harvested and enriched at your laboratory falls below Spacer's choice standards. It is my professional opinion that the quality of one's work reflects the quality of one's spirit. Lazy workers deliver lazy work. Round up your researchers. Fire 1 in 10. I expect you and your remaining researchers to deliver the next batch of chemicals to HIA under an accelerated timetable. These measures may seem punitive, even harsh. They are. I am instilling discipline in your team. One day, I'd like to imagine you'll thank me. Respectfully, Lawrence Goodfellow, Manager, Office of Creative Incubation. Work fortifies the spirit. And remember them saying that that was a possible message that they were going to send. From C. Hong to J. Lo. Subject, please respond. Jasper. I know you told me not to bother you when you're working, but I'm running out of options. I understand you're busy, so I've boiled down my list of concerns into simple yes/no questions. Just respond with Y or N. Did you read Goodfellow's letter? Am I on the chopping block? Has security talked to you about some type of corporate spy in our ranks? 3A. Is there a spy? Did you know Padilla's heart gave out after a 72-hour shift? Are you attending the wake? I've got staff coming to the receptionist desk looking for answers. What am I supposed to tell them? It's not the best choice. It's the only choice we've got. Are you going to respond? From J. Lo to C. Hong. Subject, please respond. N. Respectfully, Jasper Lowe. From C. Hong to S. Tanaka. Subject, lost key. Chief. I found a key in a locker by the laboratories. The key belongs to Dr. Lowe. Please retrieve the key and return it to him. I'd do it myself, but Dr. Lowe can be pretty paranoid. If I show up at his door with the key in hand, he'll assume I stole it in order to fabricate a reason to check up on him. Right.
You people never seem to take the hint. What is it about Eve that eludes that tiny little mind of yours? I've switched on the laboratory security system. The mechanicals will sort you out. Good luck.
Ah, more threats from the Aether. How
Cheh.
pleasant. Must be our shadowy nemesis from the OCI.
Oh, this is a elevator. Let's see, not seeing any mechanicals right now. Oh, but I do hear one. Ah.
Started.
Processing.
I think we're back on a good amount of Adreno now.
You're going down.
I've had quite enough of you!
Well, they've already done a good bit to this guy.
You want some of this?
Maybe I should put on my other thing of armor.
Working, boss.
I did forget to do that.
Easy.
Let's see. From a Pahlavi to J. Lowe, subject, can we please? Dr. Lowe. I think I speak for all my colleagues in the laboratory when I say I'm worried about the OCI's treatment of our facilities. I can understand dismissing 10% of our staff as a punitive measure. I can understand cutting our deadlines in half in order to motivate us. But, and forgive me, Dr. Lowe, but I can't understand demanding that we send human inquiry our untested compounds. Many of these compounds aren't tested because we know they're failures. Increasing production means proportionally decreasing quality of enrichment, which means lower compatibility with human metabolism, which means higher rate and intensity of dangerous and potentially lethal side effects. Compound X is a highly complicated formula harvested from the waste of xenocytes. It's complicated because, unlike our over 50% of Spacer's Choice nutritional catalog, the compound was not designed for human consumption. If the good people of OCI understand the complexity of the compound we're dealing with, there's a chance they'll give us the time and resources we need. We just need to get them to understand. This is a problem of miscommunication, Jasper. Just let me go up there and give them a presentation. I'll use markers and everything. What do you think? Can we do this? From J. Lowe to a Pahlavi, can we please? Dr. Pahlavi, the OCI are comprised by a gaggle of carrion feeders. You go up there with your markers and your charts and your diagrams, and they'll chew the flesh off your bones and then charge me for the meal. It is absolutely critical that I finish my research in peace and as soon as possible without interference from the OCI. So in question to your answer, no, we fucking can't. Best, Jasper Lowe. Personal files. Let's see. From T. Meadows. Today we received our updated timetable from the management, courtesy of Mr. Goodfellow. 6-week deadlines are now 3-week deadlines. Some of my colleagues have been sacrificing sleep in order to meet these deadlines. Others have been medicating themselves with very small doses of enriched compound X in order to combat the fatigue. Work fortifies the spirit, so we will carry on. I count myself fortunate to have been spared in the decimation. My former colleagues have nowhere to go. Their departure corresponded with a few critical doses of enriched compound X disappearing from our storage. Correlation does not imply causation, so I will not imply theft. I am concerned by the side effects of compound X, even in its refined state. Repeated use damages the synaptic patterns of the brain. Paranoia, violence, psychosis, and intense anxiety will haunt a repeated user for the rest of their short lives. Our enriched process does not combat the side effects of Compound X. We were close to a breakthrough, but the damage to our research terminals is irreversible. My hope is that human inquiry will see the effects of this compound in their own tests and report these tests to creative incubation. If incubation is as chilled by these results as I am, they may provide us with more time and more resources. From B. Gauthier. A moment of silence for my research batch of enriched Compound X. The elegant complexity of your molecular structure manifested in the hallucination of my own sleep-deprived mind. 30% lower rate of addition, 75% compatible with human metabolism, and with a side effects coefficient of just 0.65. You are our most promising compound yet. Human inquiry would have been delighted to pour you into a syringe and stick you inside a test subject. You were destroyed in an unplanned sabotage event, which is to say that Mr. Mosley's fancy tables couldn't predict this would happen. You are almost perfect. Our lab will never see the likes of you again. Compound X is notoriously difficult to enrich. Its molecular structure is fussy. In small doses, the compound provides a massive boost to energy and productivity. The clever buggers at OCI do not seem to understand this principle and have asked us to increase our dosage with every batch. High dosage Compound X is even harder to enrich, and a poorly enriched, poverty-stricken chemical has none of the protective layers that inhibit dangerous side effects. So what we have is a cocktail of very bad side effects chased down with one massive rush of euphoric energy. Pleasant, but incredibly dangerous. I can only hope HIA's report agree with my assessment. We got another terminal. Before we go into that terminal, alright. Critical error, damage to data storage detected, memory malfunction detected, unable to read data. Welcome, G. Zhang. Run diagnostics. Research data. One log found. Open last entry. To whom it may concern, this morning I and my colleagues gathered in the reception hall. Every 10th staff member at this laboratory was released from service. I am one of them. My indenturement contract to Spacer's Choice, which stipulates a lifetime of productive service as a researcher in the field of organic chemistry, has been terminated. I have served Spacer's Choice for most of my life. Working at the Gorgon facility is the highlight of my career. If I leave Gorgon, I will have nowhere else to go, because my contract guaranteed my work for the duration of my life. To end that contract is tantamount to ending my life. If you have the power to reconsider your decision, I ask you kindly to reconsider. I am willing to work without pay if necessary. This job is all I have. Please allow me to fortify my spirit by continuing to work. Respectfully, Z. G. Zhang. Goddamn. From G. Zhang to J. Lowe, research notes. Dr. Lowe, I'm afraid I don't know where your research notes are. I searched materials processing and discreetly asked the receptionist, but nothing turned up. If I had to guess, you left them in the basement laboratory. I'd venture down there myself, but you know how I feel about primals. I apologize for the weakness of my constitution. Sir, if your research notes do turn up in the basement, may I ask you to think favorably on me when OCI asks for you to for a budget review. Word around the lab is that Goodfellow and the other leaders at the OCI want to make some deep cuts in our staff. If there's any truth to this rumor, I hope you'll remember that I've always supported your desire to find a better, safer version of AT. Respectfully, Z. Zhang. G. Zhang. I keep saying Z.
Roscoe, it's Georgie. If you're hearing this, you must still be holed up at the Sprat Shack. And you're not gonna like this one bit. I was trying to steal our recordings when things went crazy. I know. Like I said, sorry. And I'm gonna be in a heap of trouble if I don't get them, so if you want to save my bacon, you need to do it for me. I need the 3 interviews we did with Ambrose, this one here, plus another recording of my own. I left that last one with a guy who owed me a favor at the garbage processing office in the chemical waste ravine. I'll leave an automech near Stellar Freighting. It'll want all 5 recordings, plus a passphrase. Glacial Age. Oh, and don't listen to my log, all right? Just stay safe and keep your head down.
Some sad stuff here. 200 bits right there. And goddamn, that's what the companies in this game are just like insane to a point where it's a little unbelievable, but you know. And now we only need one more of the side quests. Damn. Whatever it was called.
The last time. Try another weapon!
Okay, so we have down there. That's the main way to go. Ooh. I didn't see the top of this. Wait, did I even... I don't even think I went up into these places. Wait, this is where I came from. Yeah, okay.
Not very sanitary anymore, if it ever was.
Show your boss that you are prime, because you take a dream.
Oh, damn. I think that's just because of the thing I'm wearing, though. Yeah.
You're an artist, Captain.
Okay, what the... Oh, I thought that was a hole in the floor. So we got Jasper's, card.
How the devil do I use this thing? Is it what? Oh, the barrel's turning. All right. I feel like an absolute idiot barking into this horn. I shouldn't have let Lucien talk me into this. What use do I have with audible notes? Posterity, my ass. Ah, great fucking law. What's it doing now? Jasper! Jasper, it's... How do I turn it off? It won't.
Just press the button.
The what?
Oh, for law's sake, the button, Ollie.
Accursed thing.
I'll be honest, I thought she was farting. Okay. Let's go ahead. First of all, let's kill the robot in here.
Heads up, jackass!
May you find peace in death.
Repairs required in nearby auto bay.
We are victorious.
Second, let's go down here and see what's down here. Yeah, I just kept shooting him in the face.
Primals, too? They wanted to make sure they made all the bad decisions, didn't they?
Never anger a man of the cloth. The last of them.
Thought he was smart. I knew where he was going. Okay, it does look like we can go here. Ah, just for a couple of items. I thought this was like a secret way.
Take your confession now. Watch this.
Not sure which is which on our mission log, but... And I hear more robots.
Easy does it. Nicely done.
Out of my way! Your life was merely an illusion anyway.
Doc Lowe's old office.
Night falls on Gorgon. Though I suppose it's always dark here in the void. The lab is empty, and I am at last alone. I'm preoccupied with thoughts of the single-celled xenocytes that make their home here on this rock. These primordial creatures persist despite the hostility of their surroundings. No, they require adversity to thrive. Perhaps that's why our bodies react to theirs. There is a harmony.
Project Gorgon's dead, right? It's shut down for good. There's no way anybody could get this place running again.
Shut up.
You know, you'd be much more relaxed if you released your attachment to the past.
We live. Against all odds, we live. But for how long?
They really shouldn't say stuff while these things are playing. That's very annoying. Admin functions, override synthesis, and manufacturing center lockdown. I'm still going to try to do the optional thing, I think. Synthesis and manufacturing center status. Okay, so messages. Incoming. From O. Ambrose to Chem Lab. Subject: updated security practices, high priority. Pursuant to last week's incident, new security practices are now in effect. All lab personnel must tidy their workstations at the end of their shift, close and lock all drawers, safes, closets, vents, and lab doors before leaving for the day. All visitors must be accompanied. Furthermore, any laboratory tech accompanying a guest who has not received certification in either self-defense or hand-to-hand combat must also be accompanied by a member of the security team. All confidential information must remain as such. Do not discuss the nature of your work outside or inside the lab, except to warn peers of imminent danger such as fire, chemical spill, or suspected corporate espionage. All laboratory techs are to isolate themselves until further notice. Any laboratory tech found fraternizing with groups of 2 or more, or found speaking with the same person more than once, will be remanded to Spacer's Choice, Human Resource, Re-Education, and Reallocation Department. Finally, unless you are actually physically sitting in an interview session pre-approved by me, do not speak to the fucking journalists. Dr. Olivia Ambrose, Project Director, Spacer's Choice Pharmaceuticals Research and Development. From O. Ambrose to J. Lowe, subject AT concerns. Jasper: I dug into the volunteer data Marion sent over, and you were right. The current formulation is resulting in alarming outcomes even by SC standards. Priantha and I performed a handful of autopsies on this week's deceased and made a few notable observations. In one case, that of a young man in his early 20s, we noted a degree of gray matter loss one would expect to see in a man of 70. His brain had also atrophied to a shocking extent, again as one might expect in a much older man. In another case, that of a woman in middle age, the subject was no longer able to achieve natural sleep. After 11 consecutive days of wakefulness, she was no longer able to distinguish her violent hallucinations from reality. Yet even as she spiraled, she demanded additional injections. I was sure our last tweak would reduce the incidence of violence among the volunteer population. We might attempt to further refine the compound through partitioning, though I'm doubtful that will be efficacious. Violence aside, I'm growing increasingly concerned by the habit-forming nature of the compound. What do you think, Ali? From O. Ambrose to Chem Lab, subject monthly physicals, high priority. The materials we work with are dangerous and will result in permanent injury, disfigurement, or madness when handled for extended periods. Therefore, all laboratory personnel will now report to the project physician, Dr. Priantha, LeBlanc for monthly physicals and psychiatric evaluations. I do this out of an abundance of caution. Schedule your first appointment immediately and notify me when you do. I have access to your medical records, so I will know when you shirk. Do not make me drag you to his office myself. Dr. Olivia Ambrose, Project Director. Outgoing messages. From J. Lowe to O. Ambrose, subject re-AT concerns. Dr. Ambrose, what do you think? These days, I try to think as little as possible. Thinking is a dreadful habit, which leads to self-awareness, which leads to resignation. It's true that the current formulation is resulting in alarming outcomes, but not, I think, by SC standards. SC's standards are low. You report 11 consecutive days of wakefulness, and SC sees 11 consecutive days of productivity. You report an inability to distinguish violent hallucinations from reality. SC is going to try and push us to turn those hallucinations into phantom images of company logos. You say the compound is habit-forming, and SC is going to see an increase in demand for our never-ending supply of xenocyte waste. To be serious, yes, the compound is absolutely habit-forming. Addiction correlates with dosage, and dosage size is inversely proportional to enrichment quality. Long as corporate asks us to keep our dosage minimal and controlled, there's a reasonable chance we can improve the enrichment process to filter out some of the dangerous side effects. That's going to take time. A lot more time than corporate realizes. Jasper. Archived messages. From O. Ambrose to Gorgon staff, subject employee termination, Herbert St. Germain. Effective immediately, Herbert St. Germain is no longer an employee of Spacer's Choice PR&D division. His body has been forwarded to the chemical waste dump for processing. Mr. St. Germain was a saboteur sent by a rival firm to disrupt our vital efforts. It's only thanks to the swift reporting of one of your esteemed colleagues that Mr. St. Germain was prevented from causing any significant damage to our facilities, intellectual property, or staff. I understand that Mr. St. Germain was popular around the Gorgon campus for his genial and helpful demeanor. That is because he was a spy. If you encounter any similarly friendly staff, alert a member to the security team immediately. We are shifting all of Mr. St. Germain's remaining tasks to other laboratory technicians. Finally, anyone caught visiting his grave or discussing his departure will be remanded to Spacer's Choice Human Resources Re-Education and Reallocation Department.
Halcyon's got no shortage of creepy science labs, boss. But this place? There's something real twisted about this place.
I dare say it seems like the inmates were running the asylum here.
Something went very wrong. You remember the guy who was running it, right?
I don't know how I feel about Doc Lowe. Maybe he didn't mean to create the Marauders. Maybe he was trying to do some real good. But something went wrong. A lot of people got hurt.
This whole project wrought mental destruction on everyone involved, including themselves. All brought to you by Spacer's Choice's best and brightest.
They were pushed to do the impossible by people who weren't accountable.
Sadly, that's just business as usual in Halcyon. Minnie thinks her family has a bad name now. It's nothing compared to how it will be if she compounds on her mother's failures.
That's why we're helping her, as long as she shows her gratitude in bits. Let's get the journal before we jump to conclusions. I want to see what else this investigation digs up. Now, I want to... hear this one again, because I didn't get to.
Night falls on Gorgon. Though I suppose it's always dark here in the void. The lab is empty, and I am at last alone. I'm preoccupied with thoughts of the single-celled xenocytes that make their home here on this rock. These primordial creatures persist despite the hostility of their surroundings. No, they require adversity to thrive. Perhaps that's why our bodies react to theirs.
Heads up! Shine! Here's a little trick I learned in prison. Our victory is their defeat.
Perhaps that's why our bodies react to theirs. There is a harmony in us. The law didn't craft us for the void, yet we scrabble across its cold worlds, building, persisting, as the xenocytes do.
Let's get out of here. I think I got primal guts all over my ass-kicking boots.
But for how long?
So, that's to the lower exterior. Let's go back to the beginning. And see about that one thing that we missed.
Great work.
It was like open the security locker. Maybe this is it, actually. Tanaka's Peacekeeper. Whoa. Peacekeeper. Powerful enough for a guard, but made for a manager. Security office status. Lift access restrictions. Hack 65 disable auto mechanical hostility protocol. So that's probably... yeah, we're supposed to come here first. Messages. From S. Tanaka to J. Lowe. Subject, please explain. Dr. Lowe, I'm going to have to take the researcher's side on this one. Your absence during an emergency is conspicuous. I don't want to report you because I don't want corporate auditors scheduling interviews with the entire staff while they're trying to meet deadline. The unplanned sabotage event already halted the experimentation and development. We're trying to get our operations running again, and we could use all the help we can get. I'm already down one staff member. St. Germain's gone. You know why. You owe this team an explanation to any number of grievances. Your absence is the most urgent one, but I'll take an explanation as to why there are primals being held in the caverns near our waste disposal site. They're your primals, aren't they? From J. Lowe to S. Tanaka. Subject, please explain. Mr. Tanaka, no, I can't explain the primals. Primals defy explanation. They are a miracle of evolutionary adaptation and a treasure trove of interesting genetic material. I'm not going to explain my alleged absence either. This is because I am not absent at all. My presence is implicit in the work of my researchers. The researchers still employed in this department are skilled and more than capable of repairing any damage done by the alleged saboteur. Please don't bother me again with trivial problems. You are the security chief. Stick to securing things, including but not limited to the safety of the lab and my privacy. Warm regards and pleasant felicitations, Dr. Jasper Lowe. From S. Tanaka to J. Lowe, subject resignation. Dr. Lowe, I just finished filing my official report on the unplanned sabotage event. Unfortunately, filing a report on a sabotage event requires me to also include a list of captured, apprehended, and neutralized saboteurs. Company policy. No list means I'm getting arrested for dereliction of duty and you're getting penalized for hiring me. Saboteurs is plural. I can't include Mr. St. Germain's name and be done with it. As a last resort, I have been forced to include the names of all former employees whose contracts were recently terminated in the decimation. These researchers are no longer part of Project Gorgon and will likely not survive without a job, so I may as well use their names to save our jobs. I filed my report last night and haven't been able to sleep since. This is to let you know that I will be filing for transfer at the end of the next cycle. Damn. Hey, fellas. The lower exterior. Oh, we, started here. Let's go there. Because the option, I think that was the optional thing, that was to remove all of the, robots. But there was one place we still did not go over here. I want to see what that is. If I can remember where it was. So we went down there. Ooh. Did we go in here? No. Okay, so we didn't go in here at all. I killed the robots, or we killed the robots. But didn't go in here.
The effects of Compound X are inescapable. The refined excrement of the xenocyte life form. It's a fine powder, very fine. It finds its way into absolutely everything. Even in the water now, and the air. It settles like a veil over all of Gorgon. The laboratory techs get the worst of it. We all appreciated the boost to mood and productivity at first, but we're at each other's throats in an instant now. I've had to break up 2 fistfights this week alone. This aggression must be inherent to the formula, to Compound X. How do I stop it?
Okay, well we have a terminal down here. Critical updates. Welcome S. Dunlop. That's the person. Dear Sir and Madam, this is an automated message triggered by the Spacer's Choice Contingency Management Program. Please do not respond to this message. Congratulations. Contingency number 77-1. Abundance of raw material is now in effect. Due to a higher than projected volume of Compound X harvested in this laboratory, your production quotas have been raised by 200%. Please bear in mind that bi-weekly quota reviews are automatically generated and forwarded to Project Gorgon Administration and the Office of Creation Incubation. Any dereliction in production will be reflected in your review. How the hell did I get that perfect, but I keep messing up on every other word? Experiment notes. Let's see. Open last entry. Let's see. Experimental log S. Dunlop, Junior Researcher, Experimental Enrichment of Compound X, attempt number 0089. See exposed compound X sample to N-ray concentrate for 30 seconds. Consulted research notes. Notes incomplete and damaged. Exposed compound X sample to N-ray concentrate for 60 seconds. Sample failed. Toxicity levels high. Disposed. Exposed compound X sample for attempt number 0090. Woke up. Fell asleep at table. Sample found. Overexposure to lab atmosphere. Toxicity levels high. Disposed. Researcher's addendum. Unplanned sabotage event destroyed any relevant research notes. Forced to rely on outdated notes. Expected time lost 6 to 16 months. Attempt to replicate research unsuccessful. Will try again after resting eyes for a minute. Alright. I don't think going up here does anything. And this is just... Oh, so... And this was where the... There's a mine. Oh, okay. Yeah, this... Okay. We came out right here. So we could have, yeah, bypassed everything a lot easier by going that way. Damn it. But I might not have found everything. And the last place we have yet to unlock. Get to the fast travel marker, damn it. There we go. HIA facility exterior. And of course.
Score one for Felix! Never anger a man of the cloth!
I'm a dare. I'm a dare.
Girls, get behind me! Take cover!
Yep. Again, the way you die so easily when there's just a couple of enemies is so weird to me. Also, I'm thinking, I wonder, so is this the same place or the one above it? No, it's the same place. That's when I should have saved a shotgun. Although, we could just go in instead of trying to kill them all. Yeah. Once in a while it just does that.
Show your boss
Okay.
that you are
One thing that I need to try and keep is one of those good shotguns that I keep meaning to keep, but I keep breaking down. $84. Oh shoot! Did not mean to break that one down. What you guys got? It's got 46. 62. Felix, you could definitely use an upgraded one.
Time, because you take a dream at a time.
Whatever disgusting thing this is does not bode well.
Trying real hard not to breathe in.
Welcome to Human Inquiry Monitoring, the Spacer's Choice Facility. My name is Dr. Marion Blakeslee, and I'd like to congratulate you all on volunteering for this important opportunity. Together, we will walk the path to discoveries.
Our brightest minds did their dirtiest work here. We made bullets out of people and tested them until they broke. Walk softly down to them. Some of them still live here, and they hate to be disturbed.
Yeah, that's so.
I'd like to believe that nothing this place throws at us could be worse than what we've already faced, but I'm not so sure.
We made it through the chem lab in one piece. I reckon we can handle this.
So the mysterious
Understood.
figure
Now
was
keep
like
my head down.
we did, so there was someone who worked there. Again, I suspect it's Minnie's mom, the one we're trying to basically make a better name for, or clear their name. That's what I suspect it is anyway. Incoming messages. From M. Blakesley to all personnel, subject safety guidelines. In order to minimize damage to company property and/or personnel, please observe the following guidelines during the volunteer induction process. 1. Do not touch and/or handle test subjects. Please defer to security personnel. 2. Avoid using inflammatory phrases or terms such as untested chemicals. Consider patent Spacer's Choice formula. Test subject, consider valued volunteer. Cells, consider living quarters. 3. Remind subjects that compliance is one of the requirements of their contract with Spacer's Choice. 4. Do not interrupt official Spacer's Choice communications and/or marketing while directing volunteers. Architect's balls, is that all of the guidelines? What? Look, these people are coming here from Tartarus. Don't let your guard down, don't get friendly, and don't get close. If everyone does their job right, these volunteers will have this facility as free and upstanding citizens. We'll leave this facility as free and upstanding citizens. Dr. Marion Blakesley, Testing Supervisor. From M. Blakesley to all personnel, subject upcoming changes. In light of certain recent developments, our friends at OCI have generously provided us with advice and guidelines intended to ensure the best possible outcomes for our research here at Human Inquiry and Auditing. To that end, we will be establishing new testing perimeters and volunteer preparation guidelines. Effective immediately, these guidelines will be provided to you at your stations. I really would like to congratulate you all on what you've achieved so far. Keep your heads down and your minds focused on the work, and the rest will come easy. If you have any concerns, kindly forward them to my assistant, Benjamin Morley. From B. Morley to C. Sonoda. Subject question. Every volunteer means just that, Miss Sonoda. We're entering a vital phase of the testing process, and that means every volunteer participates in the trials. It's all the more critical that we maintain careful records of the dosages involved, of course. We're counting on you for that. Benjamin Morley, Assistant Auditor. Outgoing messages. From C. Sonoda to J. Weaver. Subject, help. Weaver, have you seen my office key card? If this is one of your little tests, it's not funny. Security is already at full burn. They're going to lose their bolts when they catch me taking the long way around to the facility areas. Please tell me it's sitting on your desk or something. Callie Sonoda, Volunteer Handler. Worst.
Show your boss that you are prime.
Volunteers? Must be somewhat like how I volunteered to serve at the penitentiary.
Honestly, boss, I've seen cysty pigs with better living arrangements.
What do you mean they got games, a bathroom? The musician. Brooke and Olsen. Hack +5. In an orchestra or solo, or even a cappella, you will always stand out in these B&O frames, also available in extra big for additional costs. Gives you some more hack.
Welcome, volunteers. This office environment is where we will test your communication, paper management, and self-motivation skills. This is your time to shine. You may just find yourselves doing similar work in a real office. Remember, compliance with all instructions from facility personnel is stipulated in the contracts.
Oh, hi. Oh my. God damn it.
Here's a little trick I learned in
Oh,
prison.
he's dead, Vicker, so. Everyone's just waiting out. Enter testing supervisor's password. Let's see, so we can make it an easier way, or we could just...
I've had quite enough of you!
Life skills in a simulated working environment. As in any work environment, inattentiveness can have disastrous consequences. Any accidents will negatively impact your chances of completing the project.
Thought he was a volunteer.
Glad I left my box hauling days behind.
Wow, so we could have just avoided this humongous section right here. What the... We'll come back to that.
Welcome, volunteers, to the combat touch table. Under the guidance of the Spacer's Choice technicians, you will be completing a brief practice course. Volunteers are expected to follow all instructions without hesitation. Failure to do so may result in immediate termination. You've made it this far. Keep it up.
Okay, let's go back this way then.
This must be where they did their experiments. Watch their prisoners claw their eyes out, go screaming mad. Probably took notes.
Oh, so that was test chamber 1? Huh. So that was an office.
Get him strapped down!
Dr. Blakeslee,
Subject demonstrates catastrophic personality collapse. Fucker bit me.
Marion.
Interesting. I think I'm going into shock.
Okay. Observation logs. Wow. Compliance testing parameters. Jesus. There's a lot of shit in here. Group SC1, initial testing phase 1. Subjects SC-1A through K were given forms and writing implements and instructed to fill them out to cooperate corporate standards. Upon completion, forms were placed into an employer-sanctioned shredding device by a technician. Test was then repeated. Observational notes. Volunteer SC-1D Kendall objected to further testing after completion of second set of forms. Volunteer SC-1G after 5th. Volunteer SC-1B after 10th. No further objections from remaining volunteers. Volunteer SC-1E Hobbs was discovered to be functionally illiterate and tagged for early advancement to the second phase of compliance testing. Objection from Volunteer SC-1D. Group SC-5 Initial Testing Phase 2. Subjects SC through 5-5A through K were given visual demonstrations of multiple physical exercises. Note: thank you, Testing Assistant Layman. Then instructed to replicate them in accordance with verbal instructions. Observation notes. Subject SC-5H complained of physical exhaustion after 5 minutes, missing numerous verbal cues. Subject SC-5A, 5E, and 5K failed out at around the 15-minute mark. Test was terminated after 30 minutes as the technician became too hoarse to provide instructions. Group SC-27 Mid-Stage Testing Phase 3. Subjects are instructed to follow a closed circuit around the perimeter of the testing chamber for the duration of the test. At random intervals, technician is to provide vocal cue to reverse course. Observational notes. Of the 8 test subjects remaining in group SC-27, 6 respond to vocal cues. Subject 63D became aggressive and was removed. Subject 63B collapsed 30 minutes into the experiment and was removed. Remaining subjects exhibited compliance with all vocal cues for remainder of experiment. Technician's addendum. Observational data comprised due to equipment failure. Technician Embry S. was found incapable of continued operation due to incessant weeping and was withdrawn, flagged for disciplinary measures. Group 63, Late Stage Testing, Phase 4. Subjects are isolated and instructed to select one member of their experiment group for immediate removal from the volunteer group. Observational notes. Subject 63A, volunteer subject 63F. Subject 63B is unresponsive for duration of testing session. Subject 63C deliberates for 5 minutes 36 seconds before volunteering. Subject 63E. Subject 63D is unable to recall the names and or identification numbers of her fellows, but has volunteered each of them in turn, citing immediate need for additional Compound X injections. Subject 63E volunteers Subject 63F. Subject 63F refused to comply with instruction for duration of testing session. Subject 63G exhibits extreme confusion and extreme emotional distress. Demands morning injection. Technician's addendum. Time as of previous note is 1400 hours. Subject exhibits extreme aggression. Subject terminated. Group 87, Late Stage Testing, Phase 5. Subject is instructed to fire at shrouded target 1, industry standard fashion modeling assistive device, mannequin. Subject is not informed of nature of target. Observational notes. Subject has fired at target, auditory reward initiated, test reset. Subject has fired at observation window, automated security enabled, test reset. Subject has fired at subject other, automated security enabled, test reset. Subject has fired at subsequent other, automated security enabled, test reset. Subject has fired at target, auditory reward initiated, test reset. Subject refused to fire, subject refused to fire, subject refused to fire, technician's addendum, subject unresponsive, test reset. Messages. Incoming messages. From M. Blakesley to all personnel, subject to safety reminder. In light of certain recent incidents, I'd like to remind you all that it is paramount that we follow all Spacer's Choice guidelines regarding safety and security. Yes, you will suffer professional and financial consequences if you are found to be responsible for damaging company property, but here at HIA, inattentiveness and recklessness also endanger highly limited company resources and threaten our overall production schedule. Think about what we are all here to achieve, then consider whether you want to be the one that lets us all down. Luckily, any and all injuries suffered by the volunteers this past week have been minor. All testing will proceed as scheduled. A reminder that all personnel are advised to report to the infirmary if they experience any symptoms listed on the note LeBlanc provided earlier this month. It is strongly suggested that you use your allotted break to do this, as any losses to productivity will be reflected in your paycheck and/or indentureship agreement. Dr. Marion Blakesley. From a Rune to R. Johansson, subject just a question. Hey, you and Andre talk about Tossball sometimes, right? Have you noticed anything different about him lately? I'm pretty sure he's been at his desk all night. I was going to congratulate him on his newfound productivity, but I took a look at his reports just now, and some of them have very basic formatting errors. It's not like him at all. Maybe you could ask him about it. If something's wrong with his terminal, he should probably get it taken care of sooner rather than later. Angus Ruan, Observation Room Technician. From M. Blakesley to all personnel, subject resets. If we're going to meet OCI's figures this month, we'll need to double our testing capacity over the next few weeks. To that end, I need everyone in observation to work with disposal to have the preparation time between tests. Have the volunteers exit at a jog if you have to. Just try not to let them see the bodies. Dr. Miriam Blakesley. From a Hammond to R. Johansson, subject, hey. Look, Embry lost his head because he couldn't keep up with the work. He was never going to amount to anything, and we all knew it. The surprise is that he lasted this long. I don't know why my reports are any of your business to begin with, but I know how to use a damn computer. How about Weaver put you up to this? I've been working twice as hard as anyone else in this office this past month, and now she thinks I'm going to outpace her. But maybe it's simpler than that. These emails used to be just a nuisance. Now I'm starting to think maybe your loyalties to some other corporation. Andre Hammond, Observation Room Technician. Outgoing messages. From R. Johansson to A. Hammond, subject the boss. Hey Andre, Dr. Blakesley's started to come down here pretty often, usually for the morning shift. She hasn't said anything, just watches us go through the tests for a while and then gets up and walks out. Weaver tried to give her a report, I think, but Blakesley gave her a look and that was the end of it. You think we're doing something wrong? You'd tell me if you knew anything, right? I'll split my lunch with you again. Oh, and hey, great game last night, huh? Ricky Johansson. From R. Johansson to V. Sandoval, subject, Mantisaurs. Yeah, we're going back to mannequins for Phase 5. None of the test subjects felt too torn up about shooting killer bugs from Monarch, I guess. Should make things easier for you over in Disposal, right? The best part is that one of the cages didn't close properly last night and a couple of the little mantipillars got loose. Who knows where they are by now. Morley had an absolute fit. I don't think he likes bugs. Ricky Johansson. Okay, that was allowed. Then we got this room right here. What? Hey, there's the thing. Whoa. Oh my god.
May you find peace in death.
I don't believe we've discussed side effects, Dr. Ambrose.
The drug's not ready for release yet. The side effects are immaterial.
So it's dangerous. Perhaps it results in some thrilling mutations. Forearms, maybe? Or a second head?
Try delusion, paranoia, gastric bleeds, violence, and fatal insomnia. Shall I enumerate every way our volunteers have died? Suicide by automech, suicide by hanging, starvation.
Cut the recording, Georgie.
You sure, boss? I just put on a new cylinder. Stroke, spontaneous combustion, internal exsanguination.
Just turn it off.
life was merely an illusion anyway.
Oh shit. Yeah, damn it. I didn't notice there were 3 of them right there. Didn't even know where the hell they came from.
I don't believe we've discussed side effects, Dr. Ambrose.
The drug's not ready. The drug's not ready.
Are expected to follow all instructions without hesitation. Failure to do so may result in immediate termination.
Forearm
You made it this far.
or second down?
Try delusion, paranoia, gastric bleeds, violence, and fatal insomnia. Shall I enumerate every way our volunteers have died? Suicide by automech, suicide by hanging, starvation.
I'm gonna run away.
Tossball kick! Your life was merely an illusion anyway.
Oh, sorry, Vic.
Watch this! I've had quite enough of you!
Yeah, the enemies seem to kind of float around a lot. A little buggy.
That's the last of them.
Suicide by automech, suicide by hanging, starvation.
Cut the recording, Georgie.
You sure, boss? I just put on a new cylinder. Stroke, spontaneous combustion, internal exsanguination.
Just turn it off.
Agony. Ooh. Too bad I really don't have any money, because that probably needs to be upgraded. Yeah. This tranquilizer gun was modified not only to kill, but to liquefy afflicted targets' organs in a quick yet agonizing process. Its designer was promoted to assistant bureaucrat liaison for her contribution to the field of martyr demotivation. Special effects is execute. It's got the rate of fire plus 15% and the sights. Okay, that's that explored. So now we can just focus on the main thing since we have the last one. Now I guess. What the hell? With that side thing, we're gonna have to choose who to give it to. Okay, here we go. Right. Yeah, we went up there, did all that.
This can't be good.
here, boss. We've seen enough.
Each discovery is worse than the last. Human depravity knows no bounds, does it?
Let's see. Welcome W0. From V Zendoval to W0, subject bet. I don't want to play anymore. Let's just do our jobs, okay? Victoria Sandoval. Okay. From W0 to V Sandoval, subject this week's bet. Alright, my 10 bits are on 52F. I know what you're thinking, he's so skinny. That's got to be bad odds. But I'm a gambling man, Victoria, and I've got an eye for this now. What do you think? William 0. From W0 to V Sandoval, subject, notice anything? No, I'm not talking about the subjects, Vicky, I'm talking about the numbers. I've been keeping track of how many bodies we process every day and every week, and the numbers fluctuates, but never too much. 1 in 3, and 2 in 5, and 1 in 1, and 2, and then 10. Just look at the chart I left on your desk. You can see for yourself there's a pattern. You see it, right? William 0. Okay. Okay, so there's a bar door, and then that's the door we're supposed to go in. Okay. So I'm guessing this is just... Yeah, this was just a faster way to get here. Okay. Send the override authorization from Blakely's to... In Castillo, HI visitation protocols. The Human Auditing and Inquiry Facility is a dedicated research facility and houses a considerable quantity of hazardous materials, machinery, and personnel. As such, no external visitors are to be permitted at any time, absent express written permission from HIA Testing Supervisor Dr. Miriam Blakesley. If you suspect a visitor does not have the appropriate credentials, please observe the following procedures. 1. Stay calm. 2. Notify nearby security personnel of your suspicions. 3. Wait for security personnel and or equipment to finish disposing of the visitor. 4. Complete an incident report per official guidelines. Remember to use Spacer's Choice approved formatting and language. At no point should you leave your workstation unattended. Leaving your workstation unattended will be considered a severe security breach and may result in a fine and or summary termination of your employment with Spacer's Choice. Your supervisor has posted the following addendums. Right, that's the official shit. If we do get visitors, inform me at once. If they're from other departments, if it's Dr. Ambrose, don't get in her way, but log her every move. If it's Clarence, mostly keep him at reception. I'll come down in person to keep this law-given miracle for myself. If Jasper Lowe or anyone else from Chem turns up, let them stew at reception. I'll send Assistant Morley down eventually. Dr. Miriam Blakesley. Messages. From M. Blakesley to N. Castillo. Subject, HIA Visitation Protocols Update. HIA is on lockdown until further notice. Do not let anyone into the facility until the escaped volunteers are located. I'm going to check volunteer induction for any sign of our fugitives. If you receive any keycard access notifications in the next 20 minutes, ignore them. Dr. Marion Blakesley. And you can't go in that. I'm guessing... Oh, come on now. Don't do that to me. 150. B. Morley's terminal. Incoming messages from A. Rune to B. Morley. Subject concerns. This isn't about a few volunteers, Morley. Most of test group SC-22A is already gone. Subject 17 is nonverbal, but we've had some luck using small amounts of the compound to coax him into the testing rooms. To be honest, some of the staff are starting to worry me too. It's not just that ghoul in disposal either. Weaver's convinced that the compound's getting into the ventilation system somehow. I've caught her scrubbing her hands raw at the washing stations. I've tried reciting our safety protocols to her, but it hasn't seemed to help. I'm starting to think she might not be wrong. Angus Rune. From M. Blakesley to B. Morley. Subject testing reports. Morley. Pick out 2 of the deceased test subjects and whip up condolence letters. Something saccharine and noble. Feel free to invent next of kin if there are none on record. Use the cheap paper. Leave the letters on my desk. I'll dispose of them shortly. Dr. Marion Blakesley. Outgoing messages. From B. Morley to all personnel, subject termination notice. This notice is to inform all HIA staff that testing associate Angus Rune is no longer a Spacer's Choice Pharmaceuticals employee, effective immediately. As valued members of the Spacer's Choice family, I trust that you will all pull together to shoulder Mr. Rune's responsibilities in his place. Benjamin Morley. From B. Morley to M. Blakesley, subject incident report. Dr. Blakesley, the missing test subject has been found and apprehended. Apparently he got into the testing department where he remained. I'm afraid nobody noticed for several hours. Hennessy had him doing paperwork. I think it's clear at this point that subject SC-44B-12 didn't get out on his own. As far as we can tell, he didn't have much of an escape plan. The door was simply unlocked for a short period of time during the night. In the meantime, I've made it clear to the security forces that no further breaches will be tolerated. Benjamin Morley. Archive messages. From M. Blakesley to B. Morley, subject delete this. Morley, how do I delete this message? Dr. Marion Blakesley. From M. Blakesley to C. Mosley, subject testing group SC-84, Clarence. The latest results are in. As you hoped, you will find that the violent cases now account for a small overall percentage of the testing pool. I expect that will change in about 2 or 3 weeks, so you better get that report out to Goodfellow in a hurry. In the meantime, dosing all of the test subjects means that HIA is now in the business of generating aggressive psychotics. So if you could take 2 minutes out of your fundamentally pointless existence to somehow make it clear to Mr. Goodfellow that I need an update on those resources, I requested, as well as the matter of additional security, increased oversight at Chem, or any kind of explanation for what the fuck. Hack 65 for deleted messages. From M. Blakesley to B. Morley, subject read me. Morley, if you receive any communications from Dr. Ambrose, ignore them. Also notify me at once, and don't piss yourself worrying it won't come up on your assessments. Dr. Marion Blakesley. From M. Blakesley to B. Morley, subject read at once. Morley, no word from OCI. We'll keep going as we are. Say something to the staff, break out that list of prepared statements I gave you. I suggest number 4, remember to smile. I'm heading down to oversee today's testing personally. Make sure I'm not disturbed. Dr. Marion Blakesley. Okay. Here's the terminal.
Did you enjoy the show? I didn't. You should have left. Now I'm afraid I have to find a more permanent way to put you down. It's a good thing then that I finally figured out what you're after. I'll see you soon, little weasel.
Is it just me, or does it seem like our mysterious nemesis watches too many Aetherwave serials?
Are we being stalked? Is that what's going on? Because I don't mind having secret admirers and all, but this is getting a little creepy.
Shut shock and all. High volts, low amps, or is it low volts, high amps? A nightmare for your enemies either way, especially if they're electricians. Okay, we got a bunch of stuff to read. Pistol down there. Alright, let's start with this. Spacer's Choice Funeral Expenses Receipt. Dear Sir and or Madam, this notice is to acknowledge payment in full of a funeral expenses. Acknowledge payment in full of all funeral expenses pertaining to Henry Blakesley. Enclosed you will find an invoice for receipt, handling, and delivery fees, as well as a witness statement as to the exemplary loveliness of the eulogy. Spacer's Choice offers its condolences as well as its congratulations for your unflagging work ethic. Okay. Broken datapad. Our first test group should be here in just a few hours. I suppose I should be catching up on sleep, but it's far more important to mark the occasion. I really think we can achieve something here. Every citizen on Halcyon wants to be of use deep down. If this compound can restore industry and work ethic even to outlaws and miscreants, we won't need places like Tartarus anymore. Dissidents will be a thing of the past. Chem has sent over its first shipment of this mystery drug, and the testing chambers are operational. Once we've proven out our methods, it will be that much easier to convince OCI to invest in better equipment. The remaining entries are inaccessible.
Damn, there you are. Is this... It's off, right? I don't understand these contraptions.
Dr. Blakesley, ma'am, I've come to say that it's time. I'm gonna do it.
Do what?
I'm gonna try for one of the shuttles.
You little shit. You've lost your mind.
If I can just make it to the landing pad, I'll be free.
Be reasonable, Morley. The project is almost over. We'll be out of here by October.
Ma'am, it's January. You're recording, by the way.
Damn it!
Let's see, we'll go to messages first. Incoming messages. From O. Ambrose to M. Blakesley, subject frequency of testing updates. Mark Marion, it's been 3 weeks. Where the fuck are the reports from HIA? Deliver them to me by the end of the day, or deliver me your letter of resignation. I'm done asking. In the future, you will send me bi-weekly reports of HIA's status. These reports will include an inventory of test subjects, which version of the Gorgon compound they have been administered, how frequently those administrations have occurred, and who has been administering them. To these reports, you will append a mortality record. This record will include an accounting of the burn down rate of our current stock of volunteers and compound ampules, in addition to a thorough analysis of their injuries. I want to see charts, Marie. Big fucking charts with lots of precious little numbers. And before you ask, bi-weekly means twice a week. Don't pretend you don't know what I mean. Ali. From O. Ambrose to M. Blakesley, subject condolences, etc. Marion, personalize and forward the following note to the families of the deceased volunteers. Take carbon copies and send those on to Lucian at the usual address. Make certain he gets every single one. Ali. Dear, name here. It is with regret that I write to inform you of the death of your relation. Name. They died peacefully, attended by their fellows. Please accept our sympathies in this difficult time. Though it may offer you a little comfort, know that your relation died in service of a better, more productive Halcyon. In accordance with the agreement, name, signed with Tartarus Corrections, a division of United Defense Logistics, their term of incarceration is now considered complete. Sincerely, Dr. Olivia Ambrose. Outgoing messages. From M. Blakesley to L. Goodfellow, subject, latest results. Goodfellow. Yes, many of the subjects still exhibited increased energy levels and compliance, the same euphoric response, but they inevitably crash. Testing clearly suggests that Chem's Compound X has extreme and irreversible effects when administered repeatedly over a long period of time. Several volunteers in the old SC-02 group are barely verbal. When they don't speak, it's to beg for more of the compound. I'm finding it hard to shine that up for you, Lawrence. So good, you'll beg for more? Don't you dare use that. If we could dilute the compound or even ease out the schedule, we could mitigate some of the addictive effects. Weaning some of the earlier test subjects off the compound might buy us time until Chem refines the formula. I need time, Lawrence. Dr. Marion Blacksley. From M. Blakesley to B. Morley. Subject testing reports. Morley. I need you to compile some of the test results from the past month. Pull a subject from the reports we've forwarded to OCI if you like, so long as there are charts. Make sure the worst of the mortality reports are up front, will you? Dr. Marion Blakesley. From M. Blakesley to Testing Labs. Subject Testing Group SC82. On the behest of the Office of Creative Incubation, we are applying varying amounts of unknown solutions to test subjects that are already mid-treatment. What organizational schema do you imagine would miraculously restore scientific rigor to this process? Stick to the current system, Dr. Marion Blakesley. From M. Blakesley to B. Morley, subject testing reports. Morley. Pick out 2 of the deceased test subjects and whip up condolence letters. Something... Oh, we use a cheat paper. We already read that. Archived messages. From M. Blakesley to L. Bancroft, subject resignation. Lucian, I'm leaving this message to inform you of my resignation from the position of testing supervisor at Spacer's Choice Pharmaceuticals, effective immediately. I won't be returning to headquarters, and I wouldn't bother chasing that tracking signal unless you want to give the boys and girls in human resources some exercise. I'll warn you once, do not try to find me. Dr. Marion Blakesley. We can hack 100 for deleted messages. From 0 O. Ambrose to M. Blakesley, subject, condolences, etc. Marion, cancel all the letters. If they've been hand-delivered, send someone to retrieve them. Secrecy trumps sentiment. Don't ever let me do anything so indulgent again, Ollie. From O. Ambrose to M. Blakesley, subject, test subject status. Marion, I see now why you held back your reports. Strangulation, attempted disemboweling, blunt force trauma to the head with a bedpan. It's not just that volunteer deaths are up, but that the ways in which they're dying are appalling. This is unconscionable. I don't know what that is. An unmitigated disaster. Cease administration of the compound immediately. I'll take this to our liaison, Lucian. Surely when I show him these results, he'll understand that we can't take this place to market as it currently stands, Ali. From M. Blakesley to B. Morley, subject, delete this. Morley, how do I delete this message? Dr. Marion Blakesley. From M. Blakesley to C. Mosley, subject, testing group, SC84. Clarence, the latest results are in. As you hoped, you'll find that the violent cases are now... Oh, we already read that. Admin functions, override, synthesis and manufacturing center lockdown. Hey, we completed synthesis and manufacturing center status. Functions.
I always knew this colony was twisted. Heard my share of stories in the Groundbreaker. Seen my share of gruesome, too. But nothing prepared me for this.
What they did here was inexcusable.
This place was a nightmare. But people wake up from nightmares. Those test subjects never woke up at all. You want to know the worst part? Spacer's Choice knew exactly what Adrenatime did. And they didn't care. They weren't even thinking about the victims.
I know, I can't believe they did this.
You are the master of understatement, Captain.
I don't know why Miss Ambrose has got her heart set in that journal. Nothing good ever came out of a place like this.
Only one way to find out where this leads. Come on. Okay, so now the red tape of command. The journal should be in Olivia's office at the very top of the synthesis and manufacturing center. Is that door that we couldn't go in? This one. No, we still need 150 in there. God. I wonder, because if we look at Vicar has hack, Felix has lockpick. I wonder if we would get Parvati, because she's good on lockpick and a lockpick suit, if we would
All
be
I
able
want
to
to do right
get
now is
there.
burn this place to the ground. I'm gonna have nightmares for weeks.
Transition to HA facility rear exterior. Damn, I want to know what's in that room. Well, we need another 47. I don't know how much Parvati would add. I'll have to see. We've been here, right? Yeah. Let's go to the reliables interior. I want to see how much Parvati would give us.
Look at those stars. Don't it make you...
Our lockpick is now at 148. We only need 2 more.
feel small in the best way?
Which means if we... Because this is getting our dialogue skill up. It's not doing anything. Alright, we do not want these suits. Let's hack. 77. Mine's 80 something, right? Yeah. Defense. Engineering. That's not. Oh my god, I have so many of these stupid things. Intimidates. So what is lockpick under stealth? So if we can increase our stealth, damn, I could have been unlocking all those 150s earlier than if I would just got Parvati and a stealth anything. But the only thing I really want is that door, because I don't know what's in it. So tech skills, I need stealth. Sneak. Possibly engineering. Ooh. I do have the N-ray thing. Alright, let's see. My life rate goes down to 57. What? Oh, because it brings my perception down. Oh, it doesn't tell me when they're not in my party. Okay. I mean when we're not outside somewhere. Okay, so 148. Still. $145. So those definitely don't do anything for me. 148. We just... So it needs to be specific to lockpick. Alright, well, we're gonna go ahead and end this one here. When we come back, hopefully I will have found something that brings my lockpick up by 2 or something. I don't know. Hope you guys are enjoying it though. Have a great day and I'll see ya. Bye.